Hey, what is up guys? This is Nishi from MST.TV. Today we are taking a look at some cards that are currently trending on the market directly as a result of the reveal of cards from Burst of Destiny, which is the next core set that we'll be getting after the release of Dawn of Majesty next week. Honestly, Dawn of Majesty is an okay set. It does have some cool cards. I personally think that Burst of Destiny has the potential to be just as good or even better than Rise of the Duelist, and it's really going to shake the meta up. Therefore, I think it's important to keep an eye on some cards and how their prices are behaving well in advance, so that between now and then, we can either pick up some cheap copies of important cards now, or sell off some of the overhyped ones. Let's get started. Okay, so to kick things off, we're taking a look at a couple of different Tenu Monsters. So the new Sword Soul archetype coming in Burst of Destiny is currently one of the best performing decks over in the OCG. It's a primarily Worm synchro based deck where a lot of the cards are one card synchros because of their ability to generate tokens themselves. Now at the moment, when we look at lists over in the OCG, people aren't actually running the Tenu Monsters in any of their builds. However, when I've done some digging around myself, I do believe that the Tenu Monsters are going to be really important when the deck does come out here in the TCG. Remember, we don't have Max C, so the Tenus can function as very free extra extenders as well as interruptions to help make some crazy boards. They each can be summoned for free if you control no effect monsters, and they each also have effects that you can activate from the graveyard. Adhara is a tuner level 1, while Vishuddha is a level 7 non-tuner, so each of these are really free ways to get extra materials and extenders onto the board. Both of these two cards did receive holo upgrades in OTS tournament packs, and they're each sitting at around $5 at the moment. Fortunately, you can still grab common or rare printings of either card for like 25 or 50 cents. Very, very affordable. So if you just want to have something ready so that you can play the deck, definitely consider picking those cards out of your common bins for now. If you do want the holos, I do think you're going to have to pay up and just pick up the supers. I don't really see these cards receiving another holo printing anytime soon, and realistically their prices are going to stay steady at around $5 to $7 for now. They might go up to $10 or $15 if the deck receives even more hype than it already has. Okay, so this is a card that has picked up a lot of side deck attention over in the OCG, but actually as a counter to the Sword Soul archetype, we have Token Collector. Now the Sword Souls are pretty dependent on tokens since the main deck monsters generate tuner tokens, so without them, it's really difficult to go into a lot of those synchro plays. Token Collector is a card that has received hype in the past, especially when Linkross and Auroradon combos were running around everywhere, but has fallen off recently with the banning of Linkross. Well, Token Collector is now hyped up once again as a side deck answer to the Sword Soul deck. Its effect is pretty simple, allowing you to special summon it from your hand or graveyard and destroy all tokens on the field when a token is special summoned, and it also prevents tokens from being summoned while it is out. Obviously, this card becomes a hard counter to the Sword Soul deck. The most sought after version of Token Collector is actually the Sneak Peek Ultra Rare, which is the only holo printing. This card was around $5 back when it was seeing play before. It fell off to $2 after Linkross got banned, but has since then rebounded all the way back up to the $10 mark that it's currently sitting at. Obviously, this does feel like a lot, but keep in mind that just like the Tenus, you can still grab common or rare versions for under $1 each. If I were you guys, I would definitely consider digging up all the common and rare versions out of your bulk, since I think the card will still be sought after when Burst of Destiny releases at the end of the year, so I do think that these lower rarity printings are pretty decent penny stocks if you can find them. Alright, so this is a bit of a weird one, but here we have Ruddy Rose Dragon. This card is a secret rare from Lightning Overdrive, and it's not one that had received a ton of hype or that was especially sought after when the set first came out. However, the card is actually being looked at as an extra deck option for the Sword Soul archetype and is very slowly starting to creep up in price. Ruddy Rose Dragon is a generic level 10 synchro monster that banishes all cards from both players' graveyards when it's summoned, which is really cool. It does have a couple of other effects, letting you tribute it to negate a card that would destroy another card, and another effect if you're playing Black Rose Dragon in your extra deck, which in 2021 you probably aren't doing. The banishing graveyards effect is the reason that it's such a strong utility option though. It can work against decks like Eldritch and Virtual World, and it can also be used to banish your opponent's Token Collector, since Token Collector can actually also be summoned from the graveyard to the field. Now, to be fair, I don't really know how often you would need to go into Ruddy Rose Dragon since it is is a bit situational, but it's definitely a really cool card for a synchro strategy to have access to. I'm sure that it would help with destroying some random rogue strategies as well. This card obviously just has the one secret rare printing, which is about $13 right now, up a tiny bit from the $10 that we're used to seeing it at over the last couple of months. I don't know if this card is going to take off. I'm kind of leaning towards no, because its usage does seem really situational, though with all of the buyouts and stuff that we've been seeing recently, I think that this card going up to the $15 to $20 mark wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. I think that if you can still pick them up for down at around $10 in cash or $12 in trades, it's a card that has a reasonable amount of upside potential over the next few months. One other synchro option that we have to take a look at here, we have Crimson Blader. Now this is a generic level 8 synchro monster, this being another tech option that's played in the Sword Soul deck. It has a fairly simple effect. If it destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, your opponent cannot summon level 5 or higher monsters during their next turn. Crimson Blader did see a little bit of hype last year as a way to prevent your opponent from summoning out Eldritch. Now, however, it is a great tech for the Sword Soul strategy, which can make it pretty easily, and if you can resolve its effect, it can effectively shut out your opponent's turn if they are playing Virtual World, Eldritch, or the Sword Souls themselves, which is kind of cool. Now, Crimson Blader does have a few different printings. The original rare copies from Cosmo Blazer are only $2 each, so if you want the cheapest possible version, that's the one that I would look for there. There are also 2 holo versions, a secret rare from Legendary Collection 5Ds, which is about $25, and then an Astral Pack super rare version, which is only about $8 at the moment. Personally, I think that these secret rares look really amazing, but that is a lot to be paying for just a shiny version of the card. I would think that there's a decent chance that between Brothers of Legend and Maximum Gold Eldorado coming out later this year, there's a very good shot that Crimson Blader is going to be reprinted, since its last printing came out way back in 2014. I do think that for me, the supers or rares are what I would be looking to pick up if I needed a copy, but the secret rares at this price, I think I would try to offload if you can find someone that's actually willing to pay up for the card. Alright, so moving on from the Sword Soul cards, next we have a piece of what's looking like a very splashable, abusable engine, Fusion Destiny. So in Burst of Destiny, we are getting a new Destiny Hero Fusion monster called Destroy Phoenix Enforcer. It's pretty simple, giving you a 2500 attack point body that can pop a card on each side of the field, and then if itself is destroyed, you can resummon it again during your next standby phase. The card is abusable because of Fusion Destiny, which lets you dump the fusion materials from your deck directly. Now, Fusion Destiny does lock you into Dark Heroes, but the card actually says for the rest of the turn, so you can do your whole combo, then end on Verte Anaconda and bring the Destroy Phoenix Enforcer out at the very end. This is an engine that is seeing a decent amount of play over in the OCG as a splashable package, where you run Fusion Destiny, the 2 fusion materials, and then 1 space in your extra deck, kind of very similar to how decks now will use Red Eyes Dark Dragoon here in the TCG. However, Dragoon is actually banned over in the OCG while it's still legal here, which is a really big difference. I don't know if the Destiny engine is going to see nearly as much play here while we have Dragoon still available. Anyways, we do still have some time, and it's definitely possible that Konami could ban Dragoon or something like that, though I personally don't think Dragoon is leaving us anytime soon. That being said, people are still keeping an eye on Fusion Destiny for now, with the card slowly trending up over the last couple of weeks. We currently have the original super rares at $3 and the ultra rare Megaton reprints at $4, both of which are actually quite reasonable for a card that I think is typically being run at $3. Anyways, because Dragoon is still here in the TCG, I don't think we're going to see the Destiny Hero package take off as big when it does come here as it did in the OCG, at least not right off the bat, so I definitely don't think that this is something that you should go all in for. However, this is the type of card that if you can pick them up for $1 or $2 here and there to round off a trade, it's a great card for you to hold on to just in case the engine does become meta relevant. So another Destiny Hero card that's related to the Destiny Hero package with Fusion Destiny, this time we're talking about Destiny Hero Dasher. So to summon Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, you have to use a level 6 or higher Destiny Hero monster as a fusion material, and the one that's currently being used over in the OCG is Destiny Hero Dasher. That's because this one has an okay graveyard effect. If it's in the graveyard and you draw a monster card for turn during your draw phase, you can use Dasher's effect to special summon it, which is kinda cool. It's not the most insane effect, and it's not like you're even going to be using it all the time, but it's the Destiny hero that you can dump that provides the most possible utility so it becomes the best one. Now, Dasher actually has relatively few printings, and all of them are quite old. There is only one holo version and ultimate rare printing from Power of the Duelist. Good luck if you want one of those. They are currently $250 a piece on TCG Player at the moment, which is just insane. The card has 3 other common or rare printings available, but there's actually hardly any of those on the market at all. If you just want a copy of this card, you're probably going to have to pay around $8 to $10 for it. Fortunately, this is just a one-of for the engine, so you aren't breaking the bank if you want to go out and get it. If you do want to play the engine right when it comes out, then maybe you want to grab a copy of this card just to be safe, since it's not overly expensive. However, to be honest, I feel like this is a prime candidate to be reprinted and get a holo upgrade within this year, though I don't know if that would be in Brothers of Legend, Maximum Gold, or an OTS tournament pack. With a card like this, which has the potential to go up if it doesn't get reprinted, but would tank if it did get reprinted, I would recommend holding on to the one copy just in case you want to use it, and then offloading all the others just in case. Finally guys, the last card we're going to take a look at today is Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill. So in Burst of Destiny, we are actually getting a really cool Link 4 Evil Twin monster, which allows you to summon back both a Kiss-a-Kill and a Lila from your graveyard, and also actually gives the deck an out to Red Eyes Dark Dragoon while it's in the graveyard as well. Because of this, a lot of people are thinking that Evil Twins might actually be a somewhat legit deck going into next format. I'm not sure how true this is, since the deck isn't currently doing anything in the OCG even with the new card, but obviously our metas are going to be very, very different, so hopefully the deck can be somewhat decent here. Anyways, the card that is currently trending on the market from Evil Twins is Evil Twin Kiss-a-Kill, the Link 2 monster that draws you a card when it's summoned if you control a Lila monster. Now, Kiss-a-Kill is definitely a 3-of in your extra deck, since you can use it to revive Evil Twin Lila and then pop a card during your opponent's turn as well. I don't know why, but for some reason Kiss-a-Kill has jumped all the way up to $25 for a single copy, while Lila remains fairly cheap at around $17 each. That being said, I would keep an eye on Lila, since I think it could go up and match Kiss-a-Kill's price if the deck picks up any more hype. The other thing to keep in mind is that Genesis Impact wasn't a particularly good or sought after set. A lot of people weren't really big on it at all. Therefore, I don't think there are a ton of copies of either Link monster running around on the market, and if the card starts to pick up some more steam, it could jump up in price fairly quickly. The card has been out for less than a year, so it shouldn't be on Konami's reprint radar already. I don't know if the deck is going to be that great, but it does look like a lot of fun, and I think that as a waifu sort of deck, people are still going to want to play it. Obviously, look into the deck to see if you think it's worth picking up to play for yourself, and make your decision from there. Alright guys, that is it for today's episode. We just looked at Burst of Destiny today. I do have some other things that I want to take a look at though. With Dawn of Majesty coming out this weekend, we'll look at where prices settle at next week to see if there's anything from the set that's maybe worth picking up. And then we do have to keep an eye on the many different cards that could be reprinted over the next few months between Maximum Gold Eldorado, Brothers of Legend, and the 2021 Megatins. Anyways guys, if you did enjoy today's Market Watch episode, please do make sure that you hit that thumbs up button for me and let me know. Also, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you guys think about the cards we talked about today, or other cards that you guys are hyped up for with the release of Burst of Destiny coming up at the end of the year. Also, let me know what other cards are trending on the market that I didn't cover today, so I can potentially cover them in a future episode as well. Also, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get all of the latest and greatest content from both Tombox and myself here on the channel. And until next time, guys, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV.